We're back.
We're back on Book Stage and Screen, and we have a jam-packed studio with all our superstars from our local area. So welcome, boys and girls.
Everyone say hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, that's how it works. Talk into the microphone. Now, beautiful, we've asked you in today to talk about some of the great books or movies or whatever you wanted to talk about. Now, we've got Belle here, and surprise, surprise, she's an Andy Griffiths fan. Who would know? I mean, you're all Andy Griffiths fans, but you're an Andy Griffiths fan. You're going to tell us about a book. What are you going to tell us about, Belle?
Today I'll be talking about the book by Andy Griffiths, and it's called The Day My Bum Went Psycho.
Oh, gosh.
Fantastic.
That sounds good. That sounds exciting. Now, what's this book about?
His book is about a boy called Zach Freeman, and his butt escapes from him, and his bum is part of a group that is determined to take over the whole world using a bum cannon, I'm pretty sure it's called, and they will fire a huge cloud of fart out of the bum cannon, and which will knock out every single person on the world, and they will replace the heads of the people with their bums.
So was this based on a true story, or?
Well, the book says that it was based on it.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe that's something we can ask Andy, do you think? Yeah, where are these people with bums as faces? We need to see them. Yeah?
Yes.
And so what was your favourite part?
My favourite part was when, pretty sure it was when the Zach's bum realised that the group of bums, it wasn't, one of them was, the leader was lying, and so he decided to be Zach's best friend. Yeah. And that part was really nice. That part was very nice.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds interesting and bizarre and
funny.
And funny. Well, all Andy's books are very funny, aren't they? He must have a very wicked sense of humour, I think. Yeah. And do you think you might eat late at night, like chocolate, and then go to sleep and have dreams like bums being faces? Maybe that's how he gets his inspiration. Funny dreams. We'll have to ask him.
But it is now a cartoon show, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you guys like the cartoon as well?
Yeah, I like the cartoon. As well as
as well as reading.
Good. Yeah. Oh, fabulous. Well, that's good. We'll certainly keep that. I'm sure you've all read it, have you?
Yep.
No.
Yeah. No. Well, there you go. You'll have to put that on your to be read book list. Yeah. Wonderful. And now, Cody, you're going to tell us about
The BFG.
Oh, BFG, the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, which you just saw
Tuesday.
Fabulous. And so tell us what you thought.
I thought it was a really good movie. It would be a good movie for the family.
Yeah.
And I only just finished reading the book this year.
Ah.
And there were some missing parts from the book, but you've only got 2 hours to watch it with the book, but you've got more time to read.
Yes, that's true.
And so, big friendly giant, are there other non-friendly giants?
Yes, there's 9 of them.
9 giants all up.
No, so there's 9 man goblin giants that go to a country every night to gobble up human beings.
Okay.
As they say human beings, but they get mixed up because they never went to school.
Oh, okay.
And the BFG blows dreams into the children's windows because he collects dreams.
Yeah.
And he calls really good dreams fizz wizards and nightmares troggle humpers.
Oh, right. That's fantastic, isn't it? I love those names.
So is it funny? Is the book funny or the movie funnier? What's funnier?
They weren't really that funny, and it's a good movie though.
Yeah. So you'd recommend people to go and see it?
Yeah.
And would you think it's a good idea to see the movie first and read the book later, or read the book first, see the movie later? I mean, you read the book first.
Yeah, well, read the book first. I think it was better so you can compare it to the movie to the book.
Yeah. And as you said, there's always a bit more detail, isn't there, in a book, so you kind of go in with a really detailed.
And what was your score out of 10 for this movie?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
10.
Yeah.
There you go.
Steven Spielberg will be very
Spielberg
happy with
magic.
that.
So basically, parents, if you're listening and you want to take your kids to something that they'll obviously enjoy, Big Friendly Giant, sounds like...
Cody's given it 10 out of 10. Can't get better than that.
No. My dad even liked it as well.
Oh, okay. And is he a harsh critic, is he? Or just think it wasn't going to be his thing?
Well, he said that he would want to see it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Spielberg movies, you can pretty much be Steven Spielberg. You can pretty much guarantee it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Like Andy Griffiths, it's going to be a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and Isaac, you're in here with us as well. What would you like to tell us about?
Well, the new Tom Gates book, it came out a few weeks. It's called Tom Gates' Excellent Skills.
Yeah.
I've read it. It's a really good book. What I really like about it is how you've got pages to do what you like, and there's lots of activities.
Yeah.
It's also got lots of good words. It's not like a normal old book with words that you don't understand and words that aren't that
Easy to understand.
easy to understand.
Yeah.
And I recommend that you should read it because it's a good book. Every book written by Liz Picon is really good.
And it's got cool cartoons as well. Funny little pictures.
Yeah.
Where does it sit in your... Did you start reading that one before you read Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Have you read Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Yeah, I've read every Diary of a Wimpy Kid book.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah. What about you, Belle? You read Diary of a
I've
Wimpy Kid?
never read
Oh.
any Diary.
They're really good. I recommend it.
There you go. See, look at this. Our little reading community giving tips to each other. Well, they're kind of along the same line, like Big Nate, which is one of Toby's
Yeah,
favourites as well.
yeah.
I've got Big Nate too. I've read
Yep.
about half of them.
Yeah. They're all very funny,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm reading one book. I'm reading one of them at the moment.
Yeah.
It's called Big Nate Strikes Again, and I've almost finished it.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, because they're kind of fun because they're comic or graphic novels, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun sometimes to just have a read of those ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're both got cartoons in. Tom Gates and Big Nate, they're both good cartoonists.
Yes. But Tom Gates is a bit different, isn't it? Because it's not like a cartoon, it's kind of like a word, looks like a graphic or a, it's explosion and the word is an explosion. Or yeah, that's what I liked about it. When I opened it, I thought, oh, this is a bit different.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do we call that onomatopoeia or no?
I have no idea what we call it. But you just wanted to drop that word in, didn't you?
I've been desperate to say that word ever since this show started, and finally,
You've used it in a completely wrong context, but that's fine. That's fine. You got.
And what about holidays? Then you guys you're on school holidays. Normally, you're listening to our show in class at school, or no? What? Get out! What are you?
Well, we'll have to ring your schools immediately.
Yeah. We need to have a few harsh words with the principal, I think.
On the first weekend, I went to Phillip Island.
Oh, Phillip Island, fabulous! Yeah. Wonderful. When you get back to school, you usually have to write something about what you've been doing on the holidays, don't
always.
you? So it's always good that you've done something because you're not sitting there for the first 10 minutes going, she probably doesn't want to hear about the video games I played for a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. So if you've been to that or you've seen a movie, that's always good to write about. Is there something that there's still a couple of days left and mums are out there in the foyer? Is there something that you think, Mum, I wouldn't mind doing it? Put it on air and it means she has to do it. We're going to hear a little scream from the foyer. Mum, what? Is there something you still want to see or do while you're on holidays?
I heard my mum and dad will take me to go ice skating.
Oh.
They promised that they would do it sometime.
They did promise, did they? Well, if they've promised.
To do it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, you're no chance of the ice melting at the moment, is there? No.
You promised.
Well, Sammy from Mama Knows West just told us about the ice slide, which is in the city somewhere. That sounded
Just
like
look that up on Mama Knows West.
Yeah.
Tell your parents.
There you go. What about you, Cody? Is there something you'd like to do?
Yeah, I would like to go see Ghostbusters.
Oh.
But my dad or mum are not interested in taking me.
Have you got an aunt or an uncle or someone you can call on?
Maybe.
They're usually the ones that take you to the inappropriate movies or the ones buy you the ice cream and the popcorn like Mum and Dad wouldn't.
And what about you, Isaac? What are you wanting to obligate your parents to do?
I don't know. I really want to see most of my friends because usually when it's like in the school terms, I don't get to most of the time. Because on the weekends we got to do loads of stuff.
Fabulous.
And I also want to finish reading my books that I borrowed out.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I've finished half of them. Yeah. Some of them are Tom Gates. One of them is a Timmy Failure book.
Oh, yeah.
And the rest are Big Nate.
Oh, okay.
Well, it sounds like if you're writing children's books, you're a multi-millionaire, basically.
What am I doing writing adult books? No, it sounds good. Now, Toby, you read a book. What was
a long time ago, like 5 years ago, he read a book.
We're
very proud of that still.
No, what was the book you read? I went to a talk by the Australian Children's Book Council, and they were talking about a few books. I remember the one about the kid that plays the piano. It was a bit strange and dark, but it was interesting.
Yeah, so it was about. It's called Kid Gloves.
Kid Gloves.
Kid Gloves.
Yeah, so it's just about a kid who was homeless. Then he got picked up and got forced to play a piano, and then he got kidnapped. And then he had to, and then like he was going insane because he didn't have his pianos. Yeah.
So it's called Kid Gloves.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit different, bit of a departure from Tom Gates' Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but it's interesting, and for a graphic novel, it's quite big, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe if you're about 11 plus, you might want to sort of look at that just for a graphic novel for something different. Now we've got who have we got? Has anybody got any idea of who might be coming up in the next? Who?
Andy Griffiths.
Who? Now who is this guy? I mean, you keep talking about. No, I'm joking. Andy Griffiths, beautiful. He's coming up soon. We're going to get a song on at the moment, and then we'll come back and we'll have a bit more of a chat, and then hopefully Andy will ring through. Otherwise, we're going to be standing here for another half hour.
So we're really going to delve back into your reading history, kids.
Yes. It's the first book you read.
Although I can give you guys a tip if you are, wanting to get your parents to do something, you can write an essay on what I did during the holidays, and you can write a fantastic story about how your parents got arrested, and that's what you can say. I'm going to submit this, parents, unless you take me to the movies or something. So
so that's our tip for how to
how to get along with parents.
Yes.
I've read a few of the Andy Griffiths Treehouse stories. I've read most of them, but the one that I haven't read is the 13-story Treehouse.
Oh.
I read all of the other ones except the 13-story.
So did you sort of didn't know what was going on in the 26th if you hadn't read the 13th? Or is it easy to pick up? You can pick up anyone, you know what you're doing.
It's easy to pick up.
Gotcha. Well, we've got a few of them here, so they look good.
Yeah, they're really good.
And are you looking forward to the new one?
Yeah.
What are we up to? 78?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's big.
Pretty tall, isn't it? It's a big tree house. Do you think it might topple over at some point?
Maybe.
Yeah. You wouldn't want some gusty winds from Melbourne, would you? All right, superstars, and that sounds like... Who would that be calling, do you think?
Andy Griffiths.
Andy Griffiths.
Woohoo!
Hello, Andy Griffiths.
Yes, hello.
How are you going? You're on air with some of your fans, in fact, who are listening in. They've been good enough to come in and join us.
Fabulous.
So why don't you introduce yourselves, actually, so Andrew knows who you're talking to.
Hello, Andy. My name is Belle. I'm 10.
Hello.
Hello, my name's Cody, and I'm 10, and I'm a big fan of the Treehouse books.
Excellent.
Isaac?
Hello, my name is Isaac and I'm 10. I'm also a big fan of the Treehouse books.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Toby. I'm 10, and just like all your work.
Well, actually, he's 11 because it's his birthday today, and so so he's only just getting used to being 11. So we'll let that one slide.
I've been 11 for quite a long time now.
Oh.
About 42 years, I think.
Oh, okay. Good. So, kids, what are we going to ask Andy first? What questions have we got? Because you can help fill in the gaps of what we need to know.
Belle, why don't you ask a question?
Okay, Andy, I'm wondering how you can think of all those amazing ideas. Like for the example of the day my bum went psycho, how could you think that a bum could escape from a human?
Well, to answer to begin with, I've long loved reading funny books and watching funny, sketch comedies and funny movies. So I've always loved jokes and tricks, and I guess I spend a lot of time thinking about why things are funny. And often it's because things are doing the opposite of what they're supposed to. And you'll often see my characters doing the opposite of what a sensible, well-adjusted person would do. Usually that's Terry in the Treehouse books who's doing that. But also I love to think about what's the worst possible thing that can happen. Like, not just a bad thing, but what's the worst? And one day I was entertaining a group of children and the subject of bums came up and everyone laughed, as they often do. And I said, what is so funny about bums? Because really they're quite embarrassing. and of course that is why they're funny, because they embarrass us and we feel a lot of tension, and then we make jokes to release the tension. And often bums are making noise, or they're making smells, and we get into trouble. And I was just thinking, with my kind of comedy hat on, what would be the worst thing they could do? What if they got off your body and ran away and started doing all that stuff, and yet you were still responsible? Because it's like a part of your body that you've got control over, but in another way you haven't got control. And so I just made that happen for my character.
Wow.
She seems pretty happy with that.
That starts a long series of thinking. If your bum ran away, what would you do? Maybe if your dog ran away, you would call the dog catcher. If it was a runaway bum, you'd call the bum catcher. And then I start thinking, what would that be like to catch? So it comes from just thinking about things from an unusual point of view. And then I work very logically from that premise.
And so when you're writing a book, Andy, do people say, what are you working on at the moment? When you're working on that particular book, were you just saying, I'm working on a book about bums?
It was actually a joke for a few years.
Yeah.
When at the end of talks, kids would often say, are you writing a new book? And I would say, yes, but this one's going to be serious. And they would all go, oh, we were hoping for a funny one. Yeah. And I said, no, serious. It's called The Day My Bum Went Sideways. And everyone would laugh, and I'd say, there's nothing funny about that. So it was just like a joke.
Yeah.
And then over a couple of years, one day my publisher said to me, are you ever actually going to write this this book? And I said, well, I hadn't thought of it really.
Yeah.
But it would be funny, wouldn't it, to have a book with a title that you have to try to make sense of. And so I was being a bit. I was also teasing librarians and teachers and some parents who had been not entirely complimentary to my approach, and they were saying, we think, oh, you should be more sensible and you shouldn't be so silly in your books. But I knew from being a kid I loved silly books.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to write the ultimate silly book and make people just say it over and over again and just relax a little bit so we can have more fun in the books for those kids who want fun. And of course sometimes you enjoy a good serious book too. But I think we should be able to have both.
Oh, for sure. Now, Cody, we also have here. He's going to ask a question, Andy.
Yep.
So what's your question, Cody?
What are some of the things that are going to be in your new Treehouse book?
Well, I could tell you, but then I would have to kill you because it's top secret.
Slightly drastic.
I haven't known you for very long, but I don't want to kill any of my readers. But
Not
I
good
can
for sales.
reveal, what shall I reveal that will be safe for you? Let me see. Hang on, I've just got my list here because I'm actually writing, the new book that's coming out is called The 78 Story Treehouse.
Yes.
But because that's all written now, I'm already writing the 91 Story Treehouse.
Ooh.
So I get quite confused what level
what happened in what?
exist and don't exist. But, you would know from reading the last book, we've got a drive-through car wash that you can drive through with the windows open and the roof down.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because how many of you, and be honest, and the adults too, have, when you're driving through a drive-through car wash, get an irresistible urge to wind the windows down?
Yeah. Just to see what happens.
Yeah. And maybe most of us don't do it, but you know.
Depends how much you like your car, I guess.
Yeah. So I thought we'll get a car wash where you can do that all the time.
That sounds good.
I've read the 60... What was it? 65 Story Treehouse twice now.
Wow.
Wow, that's great.
Hardcore fan.
Yeah, hardcore fan. Well done.
Do you have a favourite level in the 65-story treehouse?
I think it would be the rocking horse raceway thing.
Yep, the slowest race in the world.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my favourite level in the new one. You'll know from 65. Do you remember they've got a cloning machine?
Yeah.
And they can make lots of copies of Andy's and Terry's.
Yes, I remember.
And I was thinking at the end of that book, I wonder what they would do with all those extra clones, because what would you do with them? You can't just sort of get rid of them, throw them in the bin or something, because they are yourself. And I was thinking maybe we need to create a land just for the Andys, where all the Andys could go and live. So I've made a level in the new treehouse called Andyland, which has just got thousands and thousands of Andys. And then I thought, well, we've got all these Terrys left over too, so we'd better make Terry Town. And as you can imagine, Andyland is very well run and a wonderfully sensible, beautifully ordered place where everyone does the right thing. You can guess Terry Town is just a land of idiots running around, just doing crazy things. And also we put Jillville in there too, which is lots of Jills having lots of adventures with animals.
Oh, fabulous!
Because she's become quite a popular character.
Oh, great! Now we've got Isaac here to ask a question as well. Isaac, do you want to ask Andy a question?
So Andy, I've always wondered, how did you come up with all these ideas for these words and books?
I think the most likely explanation is it's because I've read all the books all my life. I loved going out and exploring the world when I was growing up, and I still do. But I also loved books and just reading hundreds and probably thousands and thousands of books. Books like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, and you'll see a lot of crazy ideas and crazy lands represented in that book. Enid Blyton's Magic Faraway Tree series. And when I read books like that really excite me, I kind of just want to do my own version of them. So that's what a lot of my books are. They're me trying to do the types of books that I love and admire. And when I try to do them, they always come out different, of course, because I'm me and I'm not Enid Blyton. And just all these other things feed in. And also, when I get together with Terry, he's very funny just by himself. And when he draws these funny things right in front of me, that gives me a lot more ideas as well.
So working with Terry, are you actually in the same room, or do you send things to each other or talk it through at the start? Or?
We do all of that.
Yeah.
10 years ago when we started working together, he had been doing my first books, the just tricking, just annoying, just stupid, just crazy.
Yeah.
And he was in the margins. I said, you can have the margins and just do whatever you like. Just be silly in the margins, because that's in the spirit of the books.
Yeah.
And what he did was so fantastic. I said, let's just meet every Wednesday at my office. I had an office outside of the house.
Yep.
And we just spend the day just writing and drawing and making each other laugh. And we'll kind of write a book together without knowing what that was going to be. And that book eventually came out as The Bad Book, which is lots of very short rhymes and jokes and cartoons, which in its essence is the beginning of the Treehouse books. We then did the Very Bad book, and we did the Big Fat Cow That Goes Kapow.
Oh yeah, I've read that.
Yep. All of that came out of the Bad book.
Yeah.
And then we did What Bummer Is That, and What Body Part Is That, and we'd just get together and write the silliest book we could think of. And then one day we did the 13-story Treehouse. And that's where a lot of the things that we'd been doing in all of the books all came together. So it's got a long, proper beginning, middle and an end story. It's got lots of short little things, it's got rhymes and little mini cartoons within it. So we were just kind of delighted. We just found this world where it was perfectly suited for us. But so now we don't need to get together every week.
Yeah.
And that's probably a great relief to Terry. He doesn't have me bossing him around for a day. But we work really well, and we're really good friends. And I'm a little bit like my character, where I'm going, look, there's a deadline, we've got to get something done. And Terry's a bit like his character in the Treehouse, where he's going, oh, look what I just drew, an octopus on roller skates. And I'm going, how is that going to help us get this done? But then I think, well, maybe we'll put an octopus on roller skates going down a hill. And so his distractions actually do help us get the book done, just as in the Treehouse books, the endless distracting adventure that happens becomes the actual book they write.
Well, it sounds like you've got a great team going on there. And you've just answered, because we had someone send in a question, Jamison, who said, how did the idea about writing? So, Jamison, Andy just answered your question there. And we've got Toby. You can ask a question and then...
Just remembered I'm 11.
Yes, you're 11. Yes, we've cleared that up.
I expect a very high standard of question from an 11-year-old.
Well, there you go. You just dug yourself in there, Toby.
What's your favourite book besides from your own?
My favourite book, aside from my own?
Yes.
There's a lot to choose from, and I love them all for different reasons. And I've mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah.
The Folk of the Faraway Tree and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. But then I'll also go to something like One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish by Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Which I love, the kind of silly, nonsensical quality of that book. And also Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl.
Oh, yeah, I've read that.
It's a good one.
It's probably my idea of almost a perfect book.
Yeah.
In that it's a really inventive, kind of wonderful, magical place to be, and great characters. So I'm always trying to write a book that kind of matches how I feel about that one.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's a high bar, and you've certainly met it with all your fans here, that's for sure.
Well, I wouldn't ever say I've met it, but in the attempt, that's what keeps me working really hard to try to come up with ever more, magical and wonderful kind of levels.
Well, I can tell you that when we put a call out for some local superstar kids who would like to come in and talk to us about what they've been reading and seeing during the holidays, and also I said, and you could ask Andy a question, my Facebook page lit up like a Christmas tree. So just shows the power of Andy Griffiths and Terry with the wonderful books. And so we should mention that, obviously, as we've said, your new book is coming out, and you have a great event coming up at the Melbourne Town Hall on August 9th, where you're...
Yeah, August 9th at 5 o'clock, where I'll be on stage with Terry, and he'll be drawing live on an overhead projector, so you'll be able to see how fast he is and,
cool.
and how disobedient he is. Whenever I ask him to draw something, sometimes he'll draw what I ask for, but not the way that I wanted it. And that can be very entertaining. And also we'll have Jill with us as well.
Oh, fabulous. Well, it sounds...
Jill is actually based on my wife,
Yes.
who is an editor and who we work very closely with because she can sort all the kind of crazy mess out for us.
Yes, she must have quite the job.
Yeah, just like she solves all their problems,
Yeah.
you know, whenever the sharks have swallowed underpants or some animals need rescuing, you call on Jill to come in and kind of help them.
Yes.
So that's her role in real life. But she is she hasn't been on stage much. That hasn't been her idea of fun. I really love getting a big bunch of kids and stirring them up and making them go silly. But Jill's getting pretty good at that.
Oh, good.
You can come along and ask her any animal question that you have.
Well, that's quite the... what do you think? Do you think you're up for that challenge?
If I go there, I'll probably have to think of the hardest animal questions I've got.
Well, you've got a couple of weeks. I'm sure we can come up. Yeah, research on Google. Google is our research friend, isn't it? So wonderful. So you can buy tickets to that. I believe that if you buy a ticket, you actually get a signed copy of the book.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can get that from Reading's Bookshop.
Reading's
in
Bookshop.
Carlton.
Yep.
If you go to their website. And we'd love to see lots of our treehouse gang down there.
I'm sure. Swinging from the rafters, no doubt.
Yep.
Well, thanks so much for Andy for joining us. It's been a real thrill to be on our special, our school holiday special, and we look forward to your new
Andy?
book. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Was Professor Bubble Wrap a real person in real life, or was he just made up?
I've had a lot, when I do talks and signings, I get a lot of adults who will say, does your treehouse have a permit from the council? Because they say it's pretty dangerous, and and I thought that's a really good question, and it's probably something like I've given Terry some money to go and get the permit, and he's traded the money for a whole lot of other silly things.
Yeah.
So Professor Bubble Wrap is really what a sensible adult might think about the treehouse. He can't see the fun, he can only see the danger. And then I thought, wouldn't it be great to take him on a journey through time by accident, where he learns to appreciate that danger and risk can actually be enjoyable. Yeah. And so I was very proud of that character, and in the end he decides to become a stuntman instead of a safety inspector. So, as an adult, I don't advocate people do totally risky, life-threatening things. No. But I do think there is a place for adventure and fun and risk, and you can get that in real life, but you can get it really well in books, where you imaginatively going on amazing adventures with both fictional and real people.
Fabulous. Well, we look forward to seeing all those characters coming into life and seeing what they're up to. Andy Land, Terry Land?
Terrytown.
And
Jillville.
Oh, that sounds fantastic, which we could visit. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. Good luck with the launch. I don't know, not that you need any good luck with that, but hope it all goes well, and we look forward to seeing the next instalment, which you're actually working on now, you mentioned, I think.
91 story.
91, wow.
That will be out next year.